pranams. Let us continue from the chapter number 10, what we are doing. Okay, so let me show you what we have done so far. Yes. So we are doing chapter knowledge of the absolute. Knowledge of the absolute. And what did we do so far?
Opulence of the absolute, Prabhuji.
Opulence of the absolute. Sorry. Yeah. The opulence of the absolute. Vibhuti yoga. Right. So we have done till which verse?
30.
30. Among the Daitya demons, I am the devoted Prahlad. Among the subduers, I am Time. Among the beasts, I am Lion. And among the birds, I am Garuda. Okay, we'll continue from here. So those of you who want to read the verses, please raise your hands so that I can call you. Okay, please raise your hands. Yeah. So yeah, Sonia Mataji, please go ahead with this. Verse number 31.
Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ji ki jai. Text 31. Pavatamasmi Ramashastra-bhritamaham Jisharam Makaraschasmi Srotasamasmi Jahnavi. Synonyms: Pavana, the wind; Pavatam, of all that purifies; Asmi, I am; Rama, Shastra Bhritam, of the carriers of weapons; Aham, I am; Jijyashanam, of all fish; Makaraha, the shark; Cha, also; Asmi, I am; Shrotasam, of flowing rivers; Asmi, I am; Jhanavi, the river Ganges. Translation: of purifiers, I am the wind; of the wielders of weapons, I am Rama; of fishes, I am the shark; and of the flowing rivers, I am the Ganges. Prabhuji, shall I read the purport? It's just
Yes.
online. Purport: of all the aquatics, the shark is one of the biggest and is certainly the most dangerous to man. Thus, the shark represents Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So devotees, there are different ways of cleansing. Okay, one of the ways of cleansing is called Vayu Snana. Vayu Snana is with the help of the wind. So when you dry it, right, when you dry something, it is also considered to be pure. You purify. In one of the ways of purification is washing it with water. One of the ways is with the wind, right? So that is purifying with the wind. So Pavanaha Pavatam Asmi. The next one is Rama Shastra Vratam Aham. So Rama, Lord Ramachandra, it can mean Lord Ramachandra, it can mean Parashurama also, it can mean Balram also, but here we can understand Rama, Lord Ramachandra, Shastra Vratam, of the carriers. So we know Krishna, Lord Ramachandra is called Skodanda Pani. So that means he's holding a bow, right, in his hand, and he's an expert in this putting all those weapons, right? So it's Lord Ramachandra. Okay. So it says Jashanam Makaraschasmi. Jashanam means among all the fishes, different types of aquatics, Makara, shark here Prabhupada is writing, shark is one of the biggest and the most dangerous to the man. Shark represents Lord Krishna. And we also know Lord Vishnu has Makara Kundala. So the earrings that he wears, right? So that is Makara Kundala. So another interesting thing here, it is said that of all the flowing rivers, I am Ganges. Okay, he said Jannavi. So Jannavi. So Jannavi means what? Which river is he talking about?
Ganges.
River Ganges. Correct. So what happened was, I'll tell you the story. Okay, before Lord Ramachandra's time, there was a very powerful king called as Sagara. Okay, he was the ancestor of Lord Ramachandra. So King Sagara performed one Ashwamedha Yajna. And Ashwamedha Yajna is usually performed by the great kings. They perform it to establish sovereignty. That means wherever this this horse will go, that place, the rulers have to accept this king as the emperor, and they have to pay the taxes. So what happened was, Sagara was growing very nicely. So Indra, he became very fearful and he stole this sacrificial horse. And he hid this in the hermitage of Kapila. We have also seen Kapila, Lord Kapila Muni, right? Lord Kapila. So also Krishna said, right, among the Munis, I am Kapila. So Kapila, I also told you that he is an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of God. So Sagara had how many sons? Any guesses? How many sons did he have?
60,000.
60,000. 60,000. So those days it was possible. 60,000 sons. Okay, 60,000. You just imagine 60,000 people. Okay, Sagara had 60,000 sons. And he said, okay, everybody, he ordered them, find the horse. Even if you have to dig the earth, dig the earth. So the sons, they started violently digging through the earth. And they started to disturb different sages and different types of beings. And they finally reached Kapila's ashrama, Kapila ashrama. And they found the horse there in Kapila's ashrama. So Kapila, he opened his eyes. He was in meditation. When he opened his eyes, all the 60,000 sons were reduced to ashes. All the 60,000 people were reduced to ashes. Now, they were disturbing Kapila Muni's tapasya. So because they were disturbing Kapila Muni's tapasya. Now, what is the problem? Now they all died and their bodies also have not remained. All the ashes have come. Now there is only ashes of these people. Now the problem is there's no proper rituals. Rites have not been done. You see, the Hindu rituals, everything is very meaningful. So when somebody dies, what do? We take their ashes and mix it in the Ganges, is it not? Right? Why do we do that? Anybody can say? Why are we doing it?
To wash off the sins of the departed soul.
To wash the sins of the departed soul so that they can ascend to the higher planetary systems, isn't it? So that they can become purified and they can become liberated, isn't it? So it is that Kapila Muni then said that only when this Ganga, the purest Ganga, touches these ashes, these 60,000 people will become purified of their sinful reaction and they'll become liberated. Now, this is how Ganga, the motivation to get Ganga started. So then the next generations of Sagara, they tried. Okay, nobody was able to do it. So then finally, his next generation, Bhagirath, his name was Bhagirath king. Bhagirath did a terrible austerity for thousands of years. Okay, he was standing on his one leg and he was not even eating any, he was just drinking air, that's it. He was meditating on Ganga. And his aim was not for any power. He just wanted to liberate his ancestors. Okay, this is a nice mood because we have one of the runa or one of the debts that we have is called as Pitrurina. We are indebted to our ancestors. So if not for our ancestors, we would not have been born. Is it not? So also it is the onus and it is the responsibility of the next generations to act in such a way that the ancestors get liberated. So that is the reason why, the name Putra has come. Putra means Unnama Narakatrayate Putraha. So the son, okay, Putra or Putri, what happens is like the son purifies the ancestors. Okay, he can liberate him from the hellish planets. So that's what is Bhagiratha is doing it very perfectly well. He's doing tapasya and he pleased the Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma said, Ganga will descend, but her force is so much that nobody can hold this Ganga. Now, who is going to hold it? Now, he realized that only Lord Shiva can hold Ganga. When Ganga is going to come with such a force and hit the earth will be destroyed. So now Bhagiratha performed tapasya to Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva agreed to constrain Ganga. So Ganga started to descend and Lord Shiva caught Ganga, okay, and then in his matted locks, okay, and through the matted locks, Ganga came through, okay, and she was entangled and she was stopped. And then Bhagiratha requested that, please leave a little bit of stream. So he left a little bit of stream. Okay, and then Ganga started to flow in 7 streams. Okay, And Ganga followed Bhagirath's chariot from the earth. It starts from the Meru and then comes down to all the different places. And then finally it came to the earth, and it went to the nether, Patala, and then it went to that underground, okay, where that ashes were there. And then finally she touched the ashes of the Sagara sons. And then they became purified and they attained liberation. So Ganga liberates. She's the liberator of the fallen people. So, anybody, that's the reason why in our Hindu tradition, what we do is the ashes of the departed souls, right? We take the ashes and we mix it in Ganga, right? So Ganga is not just water. Ganga is a personification of purity, personification of purity. So when we go to Ganga, we should not look at the external impurity. Sometimes there may be some fog, etc. We should not say, oh, this is dirty. We should not think like that. Ganga is Ganga. She is pure. We may not be able to understand it. So it is also said that Ganga is another form of Krishna. It's a liquid form of Krishna. So that is Ganga. So every day we must actually remember Ganga. When we are taking bath, we should remember Ganga. So we should always remember Ganga so that we become purified. Okay, we become purified. And one important point to note is this Ganga, the origin of Ganga. What is the origin of Ganga? We have to understand. Okay, origin of Ganga is the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. So it originated from the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. How? Once when Bali Maharaj, he was requested by Vamana Dev for a donation. At that time, what happened? Lord Vamana became very big, huge, and he lifted one of his legs and he touched the end of the Brahmanda. When he touched that end of the Brahmanda, what happened was the water from the Karnodaka ocean, okay, that started to leak from there. Okay, the Karnodaka ocean and the material world, they are separated by 7 layers. Okay, but what happened when the Lord lifted his feet, right, Lord Vamana, at that time that there was a hole, there was a puncture that happened, and the water started to come from the Karnodaka ocean. That is where Mahavishnu stays. Right? From there the water has come. Therefore, it is very pure. So now when that water has come, this pure water has come, immediately Lord Brahma took that water and then he started to worship the lotus feet of the Lord. He worshipped the lotus feet of the Lord. So after worshipping the lotus feet of Lord Vamana, the water which came from there, right, that the stream Lord Shiva took it on his head. So Bhagavatam says that Lord Krishna is so pure that the water coming from the lotus feet of Krishna, even Lord Shiva always likes to keep on his head for his purification. So we can understand, if Ganga is so pure, it is so pure that Lord Shiva wants to put it on his head for his purification. We have to understand how pure the lotus feet of Krishna are. Okay, Pavitram Idam Uttamam. So it's called the purest of the purest of the purest is the lotus feet of Krishna. So lotus feet of Krishna, who stays at the lotus feet of Krishna, devotees? Tell me. Whom will you find at the lotus feet of Krishna?
Goddess Lakshmi, Prabhuji.
Yeah, sorry?
Goddess Lakshmi.
Goddess Lakshmi, yeah, Goddess Lakshmi, and then the devotees are also, you'll find the devotees at the lotus feet of Krishna. Right? The lotus feet of Krishna, you will find all the devotees there. You will find a tulsi leaf there, and then the devotees are always at the lotus feet of Krishna. Right? Therefore, the lotus feet of Krishna is very pure, and the association of devotees also is very pure. And if you have to compare which one is more pure, whether it is Ganga or the association of the devotees, which one is more pure? What do you think?
Devotees, Prabhuji.
Yes. It is said in the Bhagavata that Ganga is no doubt the purest. That so far I have told you the story of Ganga. Very nice story. But Ganga, when you apply it, it takes some time for it to take effect. So let us say I take a bath in Ganga. It will take some time for me to get that purification. But it is said, if you go and just take the darshan of a pure devotee of the Lord, in a fraction of a second, purification happens. Lavamatra sadhu sangha. You don't need a lot of time. You don't need to be in front of the pure devotee for a long, long time. Lavamatra sadhu sangha. Just one moment is enough for us for our life to change. Okay. So that is the purification. Therefore, Devotees are very important. Okay. So yes, we will continue this devotees 10.31. Next 10.32. Hare Krishna. Who wants a Gita Mataji? Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. Text 32. Sargana Sarganam adirantascha madhyam chaivaham arjuna adhyatma vidya vidyanam vadha pravadatam aham. Synonyms. Sargana, of all creations, Adi, the beginning, Anta, end, Cha, and Madhyam, middle, Cha, also, Eva, certainly, Aham, I am, Arjuna, O Arjuna, Adhyatma, spiritual knowledge, Adhyatma Vidya, spiritual knowledge, Vidyanam, of all education, Vada, the natural conclusion, Pravadatam, of arguments, Aham, I am. Translation of all creations, I am the beginning and the end, and also the middle, O Arjuna. Of all sciences, I am the spiritual science of the self, and among logicians, I am the conclusive truth.
Let's go ahead and read the purport also. Sorry.
Purport. Among the created manifestations, the first is the creation of the total material elements. As explained before, the cosmic manifestation is created and conducted by Mahavishnu, Garbhodakasai Vishnu and Kshirodakshayi Vishnu, and then again it is annihilated by Lord Shiva. Brahma is a secondary creator. All these agents of creation, maintenance, and annihilation are incarnations of the material qualities of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, he is the beginning, the middle, and the end of all creation. For advanced education, there are various kinds of books of knowledge, such as the four Vedas, their six supplements, the Vedanta Sutra, books of logic, books of religiosity, and the Puranas. So, altogether, there are 14 divisions of books of education. Of these, the book which presents Adhyatma Vidya, spiritual knowledge, in particular, the Vedanta Sutra represents Krishna. Among logicians, there are different kinds of argument. Supporting one's argument with evidence that also supports the opposing side is called jalpa. Merely trying to defeat one's opponent is vitan, vitadanta, vitanda. But the actual conclusion is called vada. This conclusive truth is a representation of Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Very nice verse. Sarganam adirantascha madhyam cha eva aham Arjuna. Sarganam. Sarga means creation. Sarganam means, what does that mean? Creations.
Of
Plural.
all creations.
Of all creations, plural. That means there is not this, that means there's no, it's not that we have only one creation. Do you understand that? The creation, there's not, it's, like many people think there's only one universe. Here, Krishna is using the word Sarganam, plural. Of all the creations, what does that mean? What do you understand from that? Of all the creations, what do you mean by that? Of all the creations, what does it
That
impact?
is innumerable. Nobody can count it.
There are innumerable creations, innumerable universes. Okay, Krishna is saying, Sargana Madirantascha. I'll tell you one nice pastime. So one day what happened was, Lord Krishna asked Lord Brahma to meet him. So Lord Brahma came to meet Lord Krishna. So when he came to meet him, he was asked by the doorkeepers, who are you? Okay, they said, I am Brahma. Then they asked, which Brahma? Then he was surprised. What do you mean by which Brahma? Brahma is only one. There is one universe. I am Brahma. How can you say which Brahma? He said there are many universes. How many heads do you have? I have 4 heads. They say there are different Brahmas. There are universes which have 26 heads, 32 heads, 108 heads, 1000 heads. The more the number of heads, the bigger the universe. The universe which you are staying in is the smallest universe. You have the least number of heads. So then Chaturmukha Brahma became very humble. Right? He realized that, oh my God, there's so many universes and all of them are being maintained by Krishna. Okay, so and all of the Brahma started to flow in them. Okay, when you saw all different Brahmas with so many different heads, he was very humble. So Sarganam Adirantascha Madhyamcha Eva Aham Arjuna. So Krishna, he's maintaining, his agents. Very nice. It's explained here. How is he maintaining this universe? So Lord Krishna is maintaining, first of all, the creation and maintenance is taken care by the Purushavatara. Purushavatara means Mahavishnu, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. So Mahavishnu is in the Karanodaka ocean, and when he is breathing in and breathing out, innumerable universes are coming out of his skin pores. When he is breathing in, all those universes get inside him. Okay, one breathe out and breathe in is equal to so many, one lifetime of Brahma. One lifetime of Brahma is too big. One lifetime of Brahma is too big. One day of Brahma is 430 crore years. 432 crore years. So you can imagine day and night and multiply by 365 days and multiply by 100. That is the one lifetime of Brahma. One lifetime of one universe. That is the one single breath of Karanodakashaya Vishnu, Mahavishnu. And then Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. Lord enters into the every universe as Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. And from his navel, Lord Brahma is born. And then from Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva is born. And Kshirodakashaya Vishnu is, he is the super soul who enters into each and every atom in the universe, and he enters into each and every living entity as a heart, in the heart, as a super soul. So this universe is created and conducted by Mahavishnu, who is the primary creator. Secondary creator is Lord Brahma. It is annihilated by Lord Shiva. And Brahma and Lord Shiva and these three Vishnus are called as the Guna Avataras. Guna Avatara means they are also avatar of Krishna. Lord Brahma is also avatar of Krishna. Lord Shiva is also avatar of Krishna. But it is called Guna Avatara. Guna Avatara means incarnation of the material qualities of the Supreme Lord. There are three material qualities, three modes. What are they?
Goodness, passion, and ignorance.
Goodness, passion, and ignorance. And what are the incarnations corresponding to goodness, passion, and ignorance?
Goodness, Vishnuji. Passion, Brahmaji. And ignorance, Shivji.
Correct. Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamagun. Okay, corresponding to that, the deities are Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, and Lord Shiva. Okay, because maintenance is possible in goodness, creation is possible in passion, and destruction is possible in the mode of ignorance, in the tamas. Right? So that is why. So that is about, so we have to understand this, that Sarganam Adirantascha Madhyanam Chaivaham Arjuna. It's not the first time that Krishna said. Previously also he said the same thing. I am the beginning, I am the middle, I am the end. So beginning, middle, beginning means creation. Middle means what? Beginning means maintenance.
Maintenance.
Middle means maintenance. End means destruction.
Annihilation.
Annihilation. Right? Exactly. So beginning, middle, and end is Krishna only. Okay. So they are all representatives or the agents of Krishna. Right? That's how we have to understand. In the ISKCON Delhi, there's a very beautiful, very big. Those of you who might have visited, there's a very big picture, like a what do you say? They made that kind of a sculpture kind of a thing. Okay, so in that we can see Krishna, we can see Lord Vishnu, we can see Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, like that, like that. So that's very beautiful diagram also. Another thing is now knowledge. Vidyanam, Adhyatma Vidya, Vidyanam. Okay, so a lot of people, sometimes people argue, right? So my knowledge is the best. So for example, we have lawyers, we have doctors, we have technology people. Now everybody says their knowledge is the best, right? Now, but which knowledge is the best? Which knowledge is the best? Krishna is explaining in Bhagavad Gita. What is that? Of all the sciences, Adhyatma Vidya. Of all the sciences, I am the spiritual science of the self. Adhyatma Vidya. In fact, when you say Vidya, it actually is represented by Adhyatma Vidya is only Vidya. Other than Adhyatma Vidya, it is called Shilpakala. Shilpakala means skills. So whatever we are learning, when we are doing BTech or LLB or MBBS or anything, MBA, all of this is Shilpakala. That means some kind of vocational skill. That is the correct word. Vocational skill. It is not education. Real education means, the definition is Vidya, Ya Vidya Sa Vimuchyate. Vidya is that which liberates you. So how many of you felt liberated when you did your degree? Did you feel liberated after your studies? Did your studies liberate you?
We got more and more bound, Prabhuji.
We got more entangled afterwards.
Entangled, yes.
Got more entangled, right? It's like a vocational study. It's vocational skill. That's it. It is for us to earn money and to be living our life. Okay, not to put it down, but it's just a vocational skill. It's not at the level of this Vidya. So Adhyatma Vidya, spiritual knowledge. So Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is explaining, this is called as spiritual knowledge, right? So where Krishna is explaining about this science of the soul, science of self-realization. Prabhupada says science of self-realization. So how do you realize yourself? What is the process by which you can realize yourself? Right? What is the process by which you can go back to home, back to Godhead, so that we don't have to suffer? How can we become very peaceful? How can we become very happy? And at the end of our life, go back to home, back to God. This is Adhyatma Vidya. And in the Vedas, Vedas has different 14 types of divisions. What are they? The 4 Vedas. And then we have Shad Angas. Right? We have Shad Angas like Jyotishya, etc., etc. Shad Angas, 6 supplements. And then we have the books of religiosity, Dharma Sutras. And then we have the Puranas. And then we have the Vedanta Sutras. So Vedanta Sutras. So totally 14. 4 Vedas, 6 supplements, and Dharma Sutras, Puranas, and Vedanta Sutra. This Vedanta Sutra is the topmost. Okay. So now a lot of times we get confused when we see the Vedas. A lot of people also, and the Western scholars also, when they read Vedic knowledge, they become very bewildered. I mean, even Indian scholars also, when they read the Vedas, they become bewildered. What is the conclusion? Because different Puranas are saying different deities. Now, what is the best? How do we understand? What is the conclusive truth? Where is the conclusion? Is there a conclusion? Or there is no conclusion? It is all full of contradiction. Is it? No. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Vedanta Sutra is the conclusion. Vedanta Sutra is the conclusion. So everything is reconciled in the Vedanta Sutra. So it's like different kinds of arguments. You see? Different kinds of, we are going to talk about arguments very soon. Okay. So if you have to understand a topic in and out, what you require is arguments. So there must be a supporting argument. There must be an opposing argument. So only when you have defeated all the opposing arguments, you can establish the final truth. Correct? That is how logic works. Right? So all the opposing arguments, when they are defeated, then the absolute truth is established. So all these arguments are put in the Puranas as various arguments. They are just, it's like Puranas are arguing with each other. The final conclusion comes in the Vedanta Sutras. That is the final Samam Bonam work written by Vyasadeva. That's the topmost, top class knowledge, Vedanta Sutras. Right? And the Vedanta Sutras, it is difficult to understand them. Vedanta Sutras, we cannot understand them. So that is why Vyasadeva has written kindly, he has written a guidebook. You see, when we were studying in our college education, right? We used to have some guidebook. How many of you use the guidebooks? Right? When the books are when your books are very big, very scholarly, you're not able to read them, right? Very scholarly. So we used to get some guidebooks, okay, something like a simplified commentary. So you're not able to understand the original. So there's a commentary which you read, correct? So this commentary of the Vedanta Sutras by Vyasadeva, the original author, is Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is a commentary of Vedanta Sutras. So that is why, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying Srimad Bhagavatam is the topmost. Because it is the original commentary written by Vyasadeva on the Vedanta Sutras, which concludes everything. So if you simply read Bhagavatam, we will be able to understand all the Vedanta Sutras and understand the absolute truth without any doubt. Everything is expanded, clarified, clearly explained. Okay. So that is the Vedanta Sutras. And here it is said among different logicians, there are different kinds of argument. So there is something called as jalpa. Jalpa means supporting one's argument with evidence, right? And just simply if you're trying to defeat others' argument, sometimes there is something called vitanda. Vitanda means, sometimes we see when somebody is arguing, there's no point. You're just trying to twist the words and trying to win the argument. Like, how many of you experienced that? If somebody is like just twisting the words, that's it, and not accepting. So that is vitanda. So that kind of argument is useless. So arguments are good. So we may be thinking, why do you need argument at all? Let's be peaceful. Okay. So that's why we have a nice verse in the Vedas, right? Sahana bhavatu, sahano gunattu, sahaviryam karavavahe, tejasvinam aditamastu. Right? So that means let us be very peaceful and tolerant of each other's. Okay, that is the first, that is a important meaning of that. And arguments are an essential part of our culture. Okay, but the argument should be vada. It should not be vitanda. Vada means it's a like a, there used to be in the previous days, there used to be so many debates that used to be conducted. Okay, so there'll be one Pandit who will come, who will say that, I'm challenging you. Is there anybody who can defeat me? Like that, there'll be one scholar who will come to the kingdom. And all the scholars of that kingdom, they will come and have a discussion. Okay, they'll try to defeat him in the argument. Right? So I'll tell you one story. Okay, so there was one Pandit, Kashmiri Pandit. Right? So Kashmiri Pandit, Digvijayi Pandit, 500 years ago. He was undefeated. He was so powerful. Okay, he defeated the entire India. He was so powerful. Okay, so this Kashmiri Pandit, he comes and then he comes to Navadvip and he challenges there. Okay, is there anybody who can defeat me? I'm challenging you that there's nobody who can defeat me. Nobody. I'm Digvijayi Pandit. Nobody has defeated me ever. Okay, so then it's called as Keshav Kashmiri. Okay, so Keshav Kashmiri comes and everybody becomes very scared. They don't want to go and discuss and become fail, and everybody will mock at us, right? So if, let us say, if there is a scholar, okay, very well-known scholar, he simply goes and loses, all the village will be talking about him, that he was a loser of this. They'll remember all the life, isn't it? So nobody wanted that defeat. So they just kept quiet. They said, okay, we will. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came forward. Okay, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was called Nimai Pandit at that time. His name is Nimai Pandit. So he was a Sanskrit teacher. Very young, hardly less than 20 years, I think. So he came in front of the Digvijay Pandit and said, dear sir, I would like to have the argument with you. Right? And Keshav Kashmiri was very offended. He said, now I have to argue with such a small boy. And you are a mere Sanskrit teacher. What are you? With you, I have to argue now. Is it like that? He says, then he says, okay, Nimai Pandit says, okay, dear sir, I request you, now that you have come to our village, okay, now you have seen this Ganges, beautiful Ganges, can you write some nice poem on Ganga? Right, so he says, okay, I'll write a poem on Ganga. Right, so then he started telling immediately, it's called, immediately he started improvised poem. So like that, he started telling. So he gave big lecture, right? So for example, he tells one shloka. He says, Mahatvam Gangaya Satatam Idam Abhati Nitaram Yadesha Sri Vishnu Charana Kamalotpatti Shubhaga Dvitiya Sri Lakshmir Iva Suranarair Archya Charana Bhavani Bharturya Sirasi Vibhatya Adbhuta Guna. He tells this verse. Like that, he says 100 verses. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, after telling all the 100 verses, everybody starts clapping. Everybody's like, wow, wonderful, too good, too good, too good. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Nimai Pandit says, okay, now can I just tell you the defects of this? He says, defects? What do you mean by defects? Do you even remember this? What I said, 100 poems. He said, see, I have a special knowledge that I can remember everything. So I'm called Shrutidhar. Shrutidhar means Whatever they hear once, they'll remember forever. Shrutidhara, I'm Shrutidhara. I remember, I hear only once, I can tell everything. And he started telling all the 100 verses. And he was shocked. How did you tell this? And then Nimai Pandit said, now I would like to tell you some mistakes, okay? So in this, what has happened is, what is the meaning of this? Can you please tell that? And then he said, there's a problem with that. There's a problem with this verse. You said Bhavani Bharta. Bhavani Bharta, there's a fault in that. Right? So that's actually this Brahmana says, no, there's no problem at all. Everything is perfect. He says, yeah, you have done very well, but there are so many faults in it. Now I'm going to scrutinize, I'm going to tell you all the problems. Right? And that Keshav Kashmiri says, what will you say? You are a grammar teacher. How can you teach me? Right? So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I'm not at your level. That's why I've asked you to teach me what is good and what is bad. Okay. So like that, he says. So I can say, actually, I can find a lot of bad things and good things in your poem. He says like that. And now let me tell you, if you don't become angry, I will tell you some things. Okay. And then he starts to say, see, what you have done here is, and he starts to tell some technical defects in that. Right? He says that there is a fault of avimishruta vidheyamsa, which occur twice. And he says there's a fault of viruddhamati, bhagnakrama, punaratta, like that. He says so many different defects in that. Since you said Bhavani Bharta, the word Bhavani means wife of Bhava. Bhava means Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva's, so it means that wife of Lord Shiva's husband. What do you mean by that? Yes. Wife of Lord Shiva's husband. So it indicates as if she has more husbands, you are particularly saying. So it's wrong, he says. You should not have used that word Bhavani and Bharta. Like that, he says, that he becomes completely astonished. And he says, you said Dvitiya Sri Lakshmi. So the quality of being a second Lakshmi. He said, in the making this compound word, the meaning became secondary and originally intended meaning was lost when you said Dvitiya Sri Lakshmi. So like that, he said so many different defects, and Keshav Kashmiri became completely pale. His face became completely pale. Okay, he was completely defeated by a small boy. So he went home that day. Okay, and then he started to pray to Mother Saraswati. So Goddess Saraswati appeared in front of him. He asked, what is this? I have never been defeated like this. Today I have been defeated by a small boy. Why is it like that? Then Mother Saraswati says, the person who has defeated you is none other than my Lord. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's the, all the learning comes from him, Hayagriva. All the knowledge, all the education comes from him. All the Vedas come from him. So he has defeated you. Then this Keshav Kashmiri goes running and then he surrenders to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay. So this is one of the wonderful pastimes. So Vadaha Pravadatam Aham means Vada is supposed to bring a natural conclusion. The absolute truth should come out from the Vada. It should not be Vitanda. It should not be just for the sake of winning. We should not do it. So that's the thing. Okay. So let's go and see this. See what is next one. Who wants to read this?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Hare Krishna, please go ahead.
Text 33. Aksharana makarosmi dvandasamasikasya cha ahamevakshaya kalo dataham vishwato mukaha. Synonyms. Aksharana of letters. Akshara, the first letter. Asmi, I am. Dvandva, the dual. Samasiksha of compound. Ta and aham, I am. Eva, certainly. Akshaya, eternal. Kala, time. Data, the creator. Aham, I am. Vishwata, Mukha, Brahma. Vishwata Mukha, Brahma. Translation. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. All letters, I am the letter A, and among compound words, I am the dual compound. I am also in inexhaustible time, and of creators, I am Brahma. Purport, I have to read?
Yes, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Akara, the first letter of the Sanskrit alphabet, is the beginning of the Vedic literature. Without akara, nothing can be sounded. Therefore, it is the beginning of sound. In Sanskrit, there are also many compound words, of which the dual word like Rama, Krishna is called Dvandva. In this compound, the words Rama and Krishna have the same form, and therefore the compound is called dual. Among all kinds of killers, time is the ultimate because time kills everything. Time is the representative of Krishna because in due course of time there will be a great fire and everything will be annihilated. Among the living entities who are creators, Brahma, who has 4 heads, is the chief. Therefore, he is the representative of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna. ma'am. Prabhuji, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So aksharanam akarasmi. So it's akara. So it starts with the word, all the languages we all studied I, right? So it starts with a. Aksharanam akarasmi. It's the basis of all the sound is a. So without the sound a, we cannot be able to speak any other word, right? So dvandva, right? So dvandva means compound. Okay, it joins two nouns of equal status, right? So it's like Rama Krishna. So equal status words, they'll be joined in the dvandva samasa, right? So this is the dvandva samasa. And then here it is said, I am also inexhaustible time. So akshaya, aham eva akshayo kalaha, eternal kala. Time is eternal. And this time is the representative of Krishna. If you understand this Kala Chakra, this is something called as Kala Chakra. So this wheel of time, okay. So yes, Yagnaya Brahmati Kala Chakra means upon whose command this Kala Chakra is rotating. The time is rotating. The time is the most powerful agent in this universe, right? And it's representative of Krishna. And he's saying, of creators, I am Brahma. Dhataham Vishwato Mukhaha. Among all the creators, Lord Brahma is the greatest creator. Okay, therefore, he is the representative of Supreme Lord Krishna. Let's see the next one. Hare Krishna, who wants to read this?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. मृत्यु सर्वहरश्चाहम् उद्भवश्च भविष्यताम् कीर्तिश्रीर्वाक् नारीणां स्मृतिर्मेधा धृतिक्षमा मृत्यु death sarvaharah all devouring cha also aham I udbhavah generation cha also bhavishyatam of future manifestation kirtihi fame shrihi opulence or beauty vak fine speech cha also narinam of women smritihi memory medha intelligence dhriti firmness kshama patience. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I am all devouring death and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. Thank you, Prabhuji. I'll conclude here.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Anybody
Thank
wants
you,
to read the purport? Thank you, Mataji. Anybody wants to read the purport? Let me read this. As soon as a man is born, he dies at every moment. Yeah, please go ahead. Yes, Mata. Yes, please go ahead. Read, Mata. Yes.
Translation and purport given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As soon as a man is born, he dies at every moment. Thus, death is devouring every living entity at every moment, but the last stroke is called death itself. That death is Krishna. As for future development, all living entities undergo 6 basic changes. They are born, they grow, they remain for some time, they reproduce, they dwindle, and finally they vanish. Of these changes, the first is deliverance from the womb, and that is Krishna. The first generation is the beginning of all future activities. The 7 opulences listed, fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience are considered feminine. If a person possesses all of them or some of them, he becomes glorious. If a man is famous as a righteous man, that makes him glorious. Sanskrit is a perfect language and is therefore very glorious. If after studying one can remember a subject matter, he is gifted with a good memory or smriti, and the ability not only to read many books on different subject matters but to understand them and apply them when necessary is intelligence, medha, and other opulence. The ability to overcome unsteadiness is called firmness or steadfastness, dhriti, and when one is fully qualified, it is humble and gentle, and when one is able to keep his balance both in sorrow and in the ecstasy of joy, he has opulence called patience, Shama. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Okay, so let's see this. Here it is said, I am the all devouring death. Mrityu sarva haras chaham. We have to always remember this phrase. Mrityu sarva haras chaham. So sarva haraha means all devouring. Everything is gone. Right? You know, when somebody dies, everything is gone, right? Everything is gone. What remains here? Tell me. You know, one's education, one's knowledge, one's hard-earned wealth, one's connection with all the relatives, connection with, you know, everything. What to talk about all of this? One's own body, which is very dearly taken care of for so many years, that is also gone. So Krishna is saying, Mrityu sarva haras chaham. Udbhava cha bhavishyatam. And he is also the generating principle also. So Krishna comes as death. And Krishna is also the source of birth also. So birth and death are Krishna only, is what it means. So the generating principle of that, all that be, that is also Krishna. So birth and death both are Krishna. So we have to understand God, the opulences of the God, right? The Supreme Lord are like this. So this birth and there's death. The technical definition of birth is when our karma begins, that's called birth. When our karma ends, you know, a particular prarabdha karma ends, that's called death. When the prarabdha karma finishes, death immediately happens. We feel death is because of this, death is, we try to speculate a lot of things. But the reason for death is that the prarabdha karma has finished. If somebody is dead, that means that prarabdha karma has finished. So birth and death both are Krishna. So between this birth and death, okay, what is it that we do matters the most. Okay, how much service we have done to Krishna, this is the ultimate thing which actually matters, right? We have to serve Krishna. If we want to go beyond this birth and death, which are material, actually there's no birth, there's no death for the living. So it says najayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavitavya na bhuyah ajo nityah shasvatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sarire. Krishna is saying najayate mriyate va sarira. Najayate means no birth. Na mriyate, no death. There's no birth, there's no death for the soul. Right? And there's no birth or bhavitavyana bhuyaha. In the past or in the future, there was no birth for the living entity, there's no death for the living. Then why are we calling this as birth and we're calling this death? I told you that when the body, okay, death is for the body. The body, when it is coming into manifesting, and body is unmanifesting at the end of karma because of the influence of time, that's called death. That's it. But the living entity doesn't die. Okay. So as long as we do not catch the lotus feet of Krishna, okay, we have to repeatedly take birth and death. Ajnascha ashraddhanascha. Okay, Krishna is saying Ajna ashraddhana. So anybody who is not having faith in Krishna says that, you know, mrityu samsara vartmani, we have to come back again. So those who are not faithful to Krishna, then there's again birth. We'll have to come back to the mrityu samsara vartmani. We have to come back to the cycle of birth and death. Okay. So that's why Prabhupada wrote a nice book, Beyond Birth and Death. Okay. So death comes as Krishna. When Prabhupada says something very interesting, okay, death comes to the devotee, death comes to the non-devotee as well. It's not that devotees don't die. Parikshit Maharaj also left his body. all the Pandavas left their bodies. Of course, Pandavas went with the Sasharira, with their bodies, they went to Vaikuntha. That's a different story. But death comes to the, Bhishma Pitamaha. Also, he died. But that death is not same as the death of a non-devotee. Actual meaning of death means to be born again. That is the meaning of death. And not being death, amritasya, means not about leaving the body. It's to get our spiritual body, to be able to go back to home, back to Godhead. When we get our spiritual body, our original body, when we come to our original position, right? That is called going beyond birth and death. That is what Krishna is explaining. The subject matter of Bhagavad Gita is to how to go beyond the birth and death. This is the formula Krishna is giving. We have to take that formula and we have to apply that formula, right? Otherwise, if we ignore this formula, we have been ignoring this formula from a long time now. Okay, from how many years? Many lifetimes. Maybe from the starting day of Brahma, from the birth of Brahma. It's been 51 years of Brahma now. You can calculate. One Parartha has finished. And still now we have not reformed ourselves. We are still continuing the same material attachment and connection with Maya. 51 years of Brahma. One Parartha has finished. We are still like this. At least now we must change. Is it not? Now we must change. Otherwise, what happens is if we ignore this formula, we will continue to think that we are the body. People ask, what if I don't be Krishna conscious? What is it that I lose? What we will lose is this. Then we will have to accept that we are the body then. If we are not Krishna conscious, then we will not be able to realize that we are not the body. Then we will continue to act on the bodily platform. When we continue to act on the bodily platform, there are 6 changes that happen. Anybody knows what are the 6 changes that living in it undergoes? 6 changes.
Birth, growth, then reproduction, then
birth, growth, remaining for some time, reproduction.
Remaining for some time, reproduction, then dwindle and death.
Dwindle and death. 6 changes. These 6 changes are for every living entity. These 6 changes have to be happening. So if we the first change is, deliverance from the womb. That is Krishna. The first generation, right? So it's like that. And then 7 opulences are listed here. Fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience are considered feminine. If a person possesses all of them or some of them, he becomes glorious. If a man is famous as a righteous man, that can make him glorious. So that is one. Prabhupada is saying that, these are feminine qualities. Another understanding of it is that there actually Daksha has some daughters, 5 of the daughters, named Kirti, Smriti, Medha, Dhriti, and Kshama. They are praised as the ideal woman. Okay, Daksha's daughters. And then we have Sri, Lakshmi Devi, and Vak. Sri and Vak. Sri means Lakshmi Devi. Vak means, who is Vak? Which goddess is called Vak?
Saraswati.
Saraswati. So these 6 are the best among the women. So that's one way of understanding. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Let's go to the next one. Bruhat Sama. Okay, who wants to read this? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, may I?
Yes, please read.
Hare Krishna. Brihat Sama Tata Samnam Gayatri Chandasamaham Masanam Margoshishoham Rotunam Kusumakaraha. Synonyms: Brihat Sama, the Brihat Sama. Tata, also. Samnam, of the Samaveda songs. Gayatri, the Gayatri hymns. Chandasam, of all poetry. Aham, I am. Masanam, of months. Margashirsha, the month of November, December. Aham, I am. Rutunam, of all seasons. Kusuma Akaraha, spring. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Of the hymns in the Samaveda, I am the Bruhat Sama, and of the poetry, I am the Gayatri. Of months, I am the Margashira, November, December, and of seasons, I am flower-bearing spring. Continue the purport, Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
Purport, Sri Prabhupada ki jai. It has already been explained by the Lord that amongst all the Vedas is the Samaveda. The Samaveda is rich with beautiful songs played by the various demigods. One of these songs is the Brihat Sama, which has an exquisite melody and is sung at midnight. In Sanskrit, there are definite rules that regulates poetry. Rhyme and meter are not written whimsically, as in much modern poetry. Amongst the regulated poetry, the Gayatri Mantra, which is chanted by the duly qualified Brahmanas, is the most prominent. The Gayatri Mantra is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Because the Gayatri Mantra is especially meant for God realization, it represents the Supreme Lord. This mantra is meant for spiritually advanced people, and when one attains success in chanting it, he can enter into the transcendental position of the Lord. One must first acquire the qualities of the perfectly situated person, the qualities of goodness according to the laws of material nature, in order to chant the Gayatri Mantra. The Gayatri Mantra is very important in Vedic civilization and is considered to be the sound incarnation of Brahman. Brahma is its initiator, and it is passed down from him in disciplic succession. The month of November December is considered the best of all the months because in India, grains are collected from the fields at this time and people become very happy. Of course, spring is a season universally liked because it is neither too hot nor too cold, and the flowers and trees blossom and flourish. In spring, there are also many ceremonies commemorating Krishna's pastimes. Therefore, this is considered to be the most joyful of all seasons, and it is the representative of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So, it's a very important verse here. It says, Brihat Sama Tatha Samna. Okay, let me just play Brihat Sama. So, this is a very nice hymn. Drasad Padinara Twankashtha Ohava Su Arva Taha Uva Uva Oha So what you just heard, okay, this is called as Brihat Sama. It's from the Samaveda. Krishna is saying, of all the hymns in Samaveda, I am Brihat Sama. Right? So it's a very, very nice poetry. Okay, this is a different kind of a poetry. Okay, you can see this is from the Vedas. And this is all musically chanted. Okay, so among that's why Vedas, Samaveda is called Samagana. Samaveda represents Krishna. Okay, Samaveda represents Krishna because there are so many beautiful melodious songs which is sung in a very melodious way. Okay, it represents the glorification of the Lord, it represents the bhakti of the Lord. Okay, And among the regulated poetry, chandas, okay, we have something called as chandas in Sanskrit, right? So the poems in, of Mahabharata, Ramayana, they are written in some regulated way. It's not just whimsically written as a poem. There are some rules. Something called as Anushtup Chandas. Mahabharata is an Anushtup Chandas. And there is Gayatri Chandas, Gayatri Chanda, Gayatri Mantra. Gayatri Mantra, again, a lot of people think there's only one Gayatri Mantra, but there are many, many Gayatri Mantras. Not one, there are many, many. Okay. Gayatri is Chandas. So in that, there are many mantras. The popular one is called Brahma Gayatri. The one which we regularly hear popularly, that is called as Brahma Gayatri. Okay. But there are many more, like, there's something called as Kama Gayatri. Kama Gayatri representing Krishnas. So Krishnas. And there is one Matsya Gayatri. In Srimad Bhagavatam, first verse, it says Satyam Param Dhimahi. It's a Matsya Gayatri. So like that, there are different types of Gayatri. Bhagavatam starts with the Gayatri mantra. So because it is meant for God realization. Srimad Bhagavatam is meant for God realization. And this mantra, it is generally said that it must be read or it must be chanted only by advanced people who are spiritually advanced, right? And those who are having the mode of goodness only must be reading. That is why there is a restriction that only Brahmanas must be chanting this, because one who is chanting must have the quality of goodness. Those who are with the qualities of the passion and ignorance are not recommended to chant the Gayatri mantra as per the Vedas. It's a very important mantra for the Vedic civilization. Okay. And one interesting thing is Srila Prabhupada, he gave Gayatri mantra, Gayatri initiation to all the foreigners also. At that time, it was very new for a lot of people. Okay. So Gayatri mantra he gave. And Prabhupada's logic was like this. If we have to establish this ISKCON movement all over the world, then we must have somebody who's going to be doing the deity worship. Is it not? And for doing deity worship, you need people with Brahman initiation, isn't it? Without Brahmin initiation, how is it possible to have deities? Or without having deities, how is it possible to make this movement, that is to make the holy names of Krishna being chanted in every town and village? This is not possible. So that was logic of Prabhupada. And not only the foreigners, Prabhupada gave it also to Matajis also. So even today, Matajis also can take Brahmin initiation in ISKCON. They don't give the thread, but Prabhupada said we don't give the thread. But Gayatri initiation is given to Matajis also, because Prabhupada does not see them from a bodily platform. I mean, we see bodily platform. Here is a woman, here is a man, like that. Okay, Prabhupada never saw like that. So for Prabhupada, a devotee is beyond, a bodily platform. Now there's no relation with like is a woman or a man. It doesn't matter, right? And those who are in devotion of Krishna consciousness, we'll see in chapter number 14, they are already in the mode of goodness. Prabhupada writes in chapter number 14, if you want to be in mode of goodness, then you should be chanting, you should be doing devotional service. And those who are devotees of Krishna, they are already in the mode of goodness. Okay. And they also transcend the mode of goodness. If they are doing pure devotional service, they'll transcend also. But at least definitely they are in the mode of goodness. So actually the real Brahmanas are the devotees. This is what Prabhupada has taught in the teachings a lot of times. It's not the caste Brahmana who are devotees, but the Brahmanas are those who are the devotees of Krishna, who are following sincerely, this devotional service correctly, following the spiritual master. They are the real Brahmanas. Okay. So like that, even the Shastras are also saying, there's many, many verses in the Mahabharata also, which is saying the same thing. That, devotee of Krishna is the real Brahmana. And not the so-called person who is not a devotee of Krishna, but just by caste, he is a Brahmana. So Prabhupada says the logic, son of a lawyer need not be qualified as a lawyer. Just because I'm a son of a lawyer, I can't say I'm a lawyer. Correct? No? So to become a lawyer, I need to go to the law school. I need to get the proper qualification. Then I can say I'm a lawyer. But simply my father is a lawyer, I cannot say I'm a lawyer. Simply my mother is a doctor, I cannot say I'm a doctor. That is not allowed. So that is why if you see examples of Ashwatthama, so Brahmana, son of a Brahmana. So do we consider him as actually Brahmana? Ashwatthama, he was trying to kill the womb of Uttara, right? was when Parikshit Maharaj was in the womb of. So he put Brahmastra on a pregnant. So now, do you consider that person as a Brahmana? Because he is caste Brahmana? So that's why it's given in the Bhagavatam, Brahma Bandhu. Brahma Bandhu means relative of a Brahmana. Bhagavatam clarifies. There are two types of Brahmanas, Brahmana and Brahma Bandhu. Brahmana is who is really devotional, who is devoted to Krishna. Brahma Bandhu means he is related to Brahmana. That's it. Like Ashwatthama. Okay, we may give respect, but cannot be accepted as a real Brahmana. Okay, so this Gayatri Mantra is supposed to be chanted by such people who are purely in the mode of goodness, right? That is very important. And that also, it should not be whimsically chanted. When the mantra, Gayatri Mantra is given, in ISKCON also, it is not publicly given. It is very secretively given, right? Even when they are giving Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, they will give it in front of everybody. Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, the spiritual master. But when the Brahmin initiation is happening, they'll make sure that nobody else is there. Nobody else. They'll double check 10 times that nobody else is there in the room, that who's not supposed to be there. And they give to only those people who are qualified, those who have done Bhakti Shastri, and those who are following all the rules and regulations properly. That's called second initiation. Okay, very carefully they give it in a very proper way. And our Guru Maharaj says those who take the second initiation, they become dear to Guru. Okay, they become dear to Guru. Okay, but again, a lot of people ask, so do we need second initiation to go back to Godhead? Prabhupada said no need. First initiation is enough. So, but to go back to Godhead, we need to take first initiation, that is compulsory. Okay, second initiation is optional. It makes one dear to Guru, but it is not compulsory. Okay, and here it is said, Rutunam Kusumakaraha. One of the favorite seasons is the season spring. Every season is so disturbing, right? Every season there is some problem. In the rainy season, you have to be drenched in water. In the winter, it's so cold. Okay, in summer, it's so hot. But spring is so pleasant. There's no rain, there's no heat, there's not cold. So it's very beautiful. And there's some nice pastimes also which happened. Vasanta Panchami, etc. So it's called very joyous and very nice season. Okay, the season spring is very beautiful. Okay, let's do one more and we'll stop. Okay, last words. Who wants to read this?
Prabhuji, can I read?
Please go ahead.
Okay. Srimad, okay. Dyutam chalayatam asmi tejasvinamaham jayosmi vyavasayosmi sattvam sattvatam aham. Synonyms: Dyutam, gambling; chalayatam, of all cheats; asmi, I am; teja, the splendor. 1 second. Yeah. Tejasvinam, of everything splendid; aham, I am; jaya, victory; asmi, I am; vyavasayah, enterprise or adventure; asmi, I am; sattvam, the strength; sattvavatam, of the strong; aham, I am. Translation and purport given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I am also the gambling of cheats, and of the splendid I am the splendor. I am victory, I am an adventure, and I am the strength of the strong. Purport: there are many kinds of cheaters all over the universe. Of all cheating processes, gambling stands supreme and therefore represents Krishna. As the supreme, Krishna can be more deceitful than any mere man. If Krishna chooses to deceive a person, no one can surpass him in his deceit. His greatness is not simply one-sided, it is all-sided. Among the victorious, he is victory. He is the splendor of the splendid. Among the enterprising and industrious, he is the most enterprising, the most industrious. Among adventurers, he is the most adventurous. And among the strong, he is the strongest. When Krishna was present on earth, no one could surpass him in strength. Even in his childhood, he lifted Govardhana hill. No one can surpass him in cheating, No one can surpass him in splendor. No one can surpass him in victory. No one can surpass him in enterprise. And no one can surpass him in strength. Thank you, Prabhuji, so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. It's a very beautiful one, right? So he says, Dyutam chalayatam asmi. So now when you think of gambling, what is it that you remember? What's the reason why this Mahabharata war is happening right now? There is there was some gambling which happened, right? So what happened was the backstory.
Shakuni and Yudhishthir, Draupadi being dragged.
Yes, so what happened was it all started that, then the way they started is this war. There were a lot of predictions which were made by the sages and saintly people who used to come and meet Yudhishthir Maharaj when he was the king. They all come and started saying that there's a great war that is going to start between you and the Pandavas and the Kauravas. Everybody was saying the same thing, okay? Predictions. And Yudhishthir Maharaj he wanted to stop this at any cost. So at the same time, Duryodhana was becoming very, very envious. Duryodhana was preparing to even suicide. So when he was preparing to suicide, all the demons, they sent a message to him that we have been waiting for you. You are the person, you are our leader. You cannot die. We are all waiting for your birth and you are born now. Now it's a time to go and fight. We will help you. So at the time when you are doing a gambling match, we will all use our powers and we'll go inside Shakuni and we'll make him win. And we'll make sure Pandavas will lose their kingdom. So then Duryodhana abandons his plan to suicide, and then he calls for a gambling match, friendly gambling match. So now Yudhishthir Maharaj is in a confusion. Yudhishthir Maharaj, he has been told by many people right now that there's going to be a war, right? So he wants to avoid this war. So he just wants to be good with Duryodhana. Whatever he says, he will say yes. No, I will come. Okay, he said yes. You're calling for a friendly match, I will come. I will not say no. If I say no, he may fight with me. That's fine. That's why he went. And once he went there, a lot of people ask, why did he even gamble? Gambling is supposed to be very bad, right? Gambling is worst. It's one of the four, it's breaking 4 regulatory principles. But according to the Dharma Shastras, okay, Yudhishthira is a Dharmaraj. It is a perfect personification of religious principles. It is said that in the Kshatriya, when challenged in a war, Kshatriya should never say no. Oh, no, I will not fight. That's wrong. Kshatriya, when challenged for a war, he should not say no. Similarly, Kshatriya, when called for a gambling match, he should not say no. He should come. So that is the Dharma Shastra. Dharma Sutra is there. So he had to go and play. But he did not imagine even in his wildest dreams that Shakuni would cheat like this, right? And after all, what happens is then first the Pandavas, Yudhishthira Maharaj will lose. Next he will lose all of his brothers, and then what would happen is next he would lose Draupadi, and Draupadi would be attempted to be disrobed, and then she will be saved by Lord Krishna. And then again they will give one more chance. They will say, okay, everything is cancelled. You take back your kingdom, everything. Again we will gamble. They will do gambling again. Again, Yudhishthira Maharaj will lose. Now that they will put a condition that 13 years, you have to be like this, and 1 year you have to be in Ajnatavas, Vanavas and Ajnatavas. So Krishna is saying, Dyutam chalayatam asmi. I am also the gambling of the cheats. Right? So we cannot think that Shakuni has defeated. It's not Shakuni who has defeated, okay? It's always Krishna only. Okay, it's all plan of Krishna. It's Krishna's plan. So we may be wondering, why did Krishna have such a bad plan for them? Right? So the thing is, we have to understand Krishna's mercy, we cannot understand. Okay, Krishna's mercy is given in the Bhagavatam. That when Krishna becomes very merciful, he takes away everything. That is the style of Krishna. He takes away everything and he makes a person completely surrender to him. So he makes a person lose his family, his wealth, everything, and have no other shelter than Krishna. So other demigods, it's the opposite. If you worship demigods, you will not lose anything, you will get a lot. But for a normal person, it sounds good. Yeah, let me worship the demigods and let me get a lot of things. It's so obviously I should not worship Krishna because my everything will be gone. But if you think about it in a higher sense, right? What happens when you worship the demigods and you get a lot of opulences? What follows next? What happens next? Tell me, what happens when somebody gets a lot of opulences?
Pride, arrogance.
They become pride, they become very proud, they become very arrogant, and they will start to insult the very demigod who was given that benediction. Just like that Vrikasura, right? Yeah, Vrikasura. So he got a boon that, if he'll put a hand, anybody will go to ashes. And then he wanted to apply it on Lord Shiva. So the very person whom he got the boons from, he became envious of the very person because of pride. That's what Krishna explains in Bhagavatam. But Krishna has the opposite tattva. Krishna, he will make completely surrendered so that, this person will go back to home, back to God. That is real mercy. The real mercy is to save. Right? So it is like this, right? So for example, let's say there's a doctor, okay, who wants to treat a patient. So doctor will say, get admitted. So when you get admitted, they'll take away the dress, they'll give you some very simple food, they'll give you medicine. But if you don't get admitted, you'll be nice, you'll be happy roaming around. Now, which one is a better choice for a person who is having something very urgent which needs to be operated? Tell me.
Better to get admitted.
Better to get admitted. But nobody would like to do that, right? Why do I mean, like, I want to wear my nice dresses, I want to just enjoy. Why should I go and get some medicine and go into that environment? It's so sickening environment, right? So we are actually our position is like that, okay? We are in a position where we are in the material world. If we are, it's a disease, okay? And if we don't get this treatment for this disease, it's like, it's worse than cancer. Cancer kills you only once. But this material disease, Bhavaroga, is repeatedly killing us again and again and again and again. Multiple deaths we are getting because of this Bhavaroga. We need to get treatment done. Treatment is Krishna consciousness. So Krishna, but if we try to cheat Krishna and say no, if we cheat, I mean, this is one kind of cheating is saying, I'll wait for Krishna's call. Krishna ka bulawa aayega. Jab Krishna bulayenge, hum aayenge. Then Krishna will cheat us. We should not be trying to cheat Krishna. Because he's a cheat of the cheats. The biggest cheat. He can cheat more better. He will do one simple, he'll just put us under the custody of Maya. So in the lap of Maya, we'll be playing and we will be like dying and again and again and again and again. So if we try to do, that's why it's called Mattas Pratignyānam Apohanam. He gives us remembrance, he gives us forgetfulness also. If we say, I want to forget you, Krishna, I don't like your process, you are very strict. No, I want to just enjoy. He'll say, okay, enjoy. He'll say, okay, forget me. That's more worst actually. If he says, forget me, if he says, okay, forget me and worship demigods, we are finished actually. We are finished. If he removes that smriti, remembrance of Krishna, we are finished. We have to repeatedly take birth and death, repeatedly suffer. So Krishna tried to cheat Krishna. He is the biggest of the cheats, right? And this Mahabharata is also called as Jaya. Okay, also called as victory. Okay, and victory is Krishna. Krishna is on the side of Arjuna. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Tatra Partho Dhanurdharaha, Tatra Sri Vijayor Vishnu. Vijaya is there. Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama, right? Wherever there is Krishna, wherever there is Arjuna, there is victory. The real victory is victory beyond our birth and death. To win over our mind and to win over this Maya is the real victory. Okay. So this victory will be available only when we read Bhagavad Gita and when we surrender to Krishna's representative. This is the process. So he's saying he's the splendor of the splendid. And he's the most enterprising, most industrious, most adventurous also. We have seen Krishna's pastimes. He does so many adventures. How many of you heard of this adventure where Krishna enters into Agasura, right? He enters into Agasura pastime. He plays with Kaliya, dances with Kaliya. He does so many adventures. They're so nice, Krishna stories. And also, when Jarasandha came to attack him with 18 Akshauhini Sena, he killed all the Sena. Krishna and Balaram single-handedly killed 18 Akshauhini Sena. Complete Sena was finished. Okay. But they left Jarasandha. They spared his life. Jarasandha went back and came again with another 18 Akshavahini Sena. So again Krishna defeated him. Killed all the 18 Akshavahini Sena but left Jarasandha again. Why was he doing that? He could have killed Jarasandha, finished, no? Enemy should be finished, right? Enemy, fire and debt. Why did he do that? Anybody? Because Jarasandha, if he'll collect more people. See, Krishna has come for one purpose.
Prabhuji wanted to give that work to glorify Bhima.
Yes, that is also true. That is true. He wanted his devotee to be glorified. That is
glorified.
True. Correct. Nice. And another reason is that, he wants to correct, he has come for something. Dharma samstapana arthaya sambhavami. He wants to finish the burden on the earth.
It's cleansing
cleansing, yeah. He doesn't have to go and find and filter. Okay, they are only coming. Again, 17 times they have come. So if they are only assembling and they're coming in front of Krishna, just like how all the flies are coming and entering into a fire. Okay, they are only coming and they're dying. Like that is cleansing. And also in another adventure, when Jarasandha was, chasing him, Krishna and Balarama, they will climb a very huge mountain and they'll jump from the mountain. Did you know that? Very tall mountain.
Ranchod.
Yeah. He runs away from that battle and then both of them jump from a very tall height, unbelievable height, without any parachutes. So adventure. A lot of advertisements.
Prabhuji, is that mountain there somewhere here?
I don't know why Mataji.
No, like how we have Govardhana Hill, this also should be there, no?
Must be there, yeah. I forgot the name of the mountain, I'll tell you.
Okay, we should find out.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, all this, Prabhuji, I was listening to Bhakti Padma Guruji's lectures. All Kapila Muni's, Kardama Muni's, that Sarovar is there in somewhere near Gujarat. Everything he tells Prabhuji, with his entire geography he told.
Wow.
In Nityananda's, what is that called? Nityananda Trayodashi, his pilgrimage, he went to so many places. He said, if you know about each of this place, you don't need to open geography book. You will know everything.
Wonderful. Very nice.
I shared some of those lectures in the Bhagavatam class group.
Sure, Mataji. Thank you. Maybe if I get time, I'll also go through it. Thank you.
So nice, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, devotees. Yeah. So just wanted to close this, that a lot of people like adventure, isn't it? There's some companies which are selling adventure in the name of a drink. You know what I'm saying, right? Soft drinks. They're selling soft drinks. They're selling the emotion of an adventure, right? So the real adventure is Krishna. Is the most adventurous person. And the real adventure is to be, taking up Krishna consciousness is the most adventurous thing. Because every day we have to fight with Maya, right? Okay. So Hare Krishna, devotees, will stop here.
One more thing, Prabhuji, because I am so ignorant, I felt like laughing when I got to know. I've been to Madurai. I went there to present some papers. I went to the temple, Meenakshi, and all those things. But I came to know just 2-3 days back that actually Madurai is South Indian Mathura.
Oh yeah, okay. Even I was thinking there is some word resemblance. It's
because
like
South
Mathura.
Indian will say for Matha, they will say da.
Madurai. Yeah, Madurai. Maybe.
So actually it is Mathura.
Nice, South Indian Mathura. Nice.
Bhakti Padma Prabhuji's Guruji said that.
Interesting observation. Thank you.
So nice, no, Prabhuji?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, devotees. Thank you very much.